Karibuni sana AMG Realtors Limited. Today it's an exciting day, so we are doing it unusual, a little bit unusual, because we'll be showcasing what happens once you send your contact to Lily. And by the way, we have Lily with us here. So this is the sales office at AMG Realtors. Once you send Lily your number, she sends it to me, and then that lead or contact or your contact is shared to either of the people who are here. So this is the main office. Once someone writes to us, we get to choose a plot from the map. So what happens is that now they send money to our account. So what happens is that before or once they send the money, there are some documents that are prepared in terms of the paperwork.
If I understand you correctly, once somebody gets in touch and they're interested, you send them a map.
Yeah, a map.
Where they pick up the particular plot that they want.
Yeah,
sometimes they pick up 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, 4, correct.
Yes.
So once now they choose a plot from the salespeople, now we arrange on the payment plan how they are going to pay. So if it's a cash payment, majority of the times we give them an account, an AMG account. So where they send via either Sendwave from States, or they send via Wild Remit or Western Union. So once they send the money to us, so the money gets to our account. So here there is a department particularly that looks at the money that is coming from the ladies who are buying with us.
This is actually a huge learning process for me, because I've had people reach out to you and then you guys have a conversation, but they come to me asking me what's next, and I'm like, don't worry, just keep talking to AMG, they'll sort you out. But at what point do they get a contract?
So the process is actually very simple, because once now we give the bank accounts, so there's a department called Accounts and Finance. So Eldon is here, Bonnie is here, Nancy is here, and of course Magdalene. So they are part of one department. So they are the ones who check the payments and write receipts of everyone who makes a payment at AMG.
Hello, how are you?
Hi.
My name is Eldon. I'm in finance. I work as a financial analyst. So once we receive the funds, we normally receive the funds through our bank accounts. So we just make sure that these funds relate to this particular client. After confirming the funds relate to this particular client, then we do the receipt. Now the receipt will have to be tallied to the particular plot this customer is buying. This helps us in eradicating double allocation of funds to the same plot. So once we give a receipt pertaining to a certain plot, we tick off that plot as fully paid for or sold.
So what Eldon is saying is that once the money has been received from our end, we immediately knock off that payment against the plot that we had chosen, so that there is no other person who is going to actually make a payment towards the same plot. So that means that we issue a receipt, and that plot is secured for the client. At this stage now, after the money has been paid, what happens in terms of the paperwork, the contracts? So majority of the contract is through the lawyer or the legal officer. So at AMG, the legal officer is with us, sits with us in the office, which makes the work easier. And we walk right to her. We get to hear from her.
It's a lady, people.
Lily here from Kwitu. Good. So we are having a conversation about the behind the scenes. Someone might be asking, what do I need for my contract to be drawn at AMG? What are some of the requirements I usually need from the clients?
We'll need a form of identification.
An ID?
Yes, preferably a national ID or a passport.
Or a passport?
Yeah. Kenyan or preferably Kenyan. Yes. If you have a Kenyan passport, it's not a problem. A contract is done very fast, within 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Maybe,
wow, that's amazing.
So do you need a PIN number? Because that's one thing I'm struggling with. And so now we had to show women or teach women how to retrieve their pins. So because I believe at some point they're gonna need the pin.
if the PIN is there, it's important you provide it from the onset.
Yeah, one more question. So if somebody has an ID number but they don't have the physical ID, is that an issue?
In such a case, we'd use a passport.
A passport,
Yeah.
correct. So the copy is important so that you can attach when you're doing transfers.
Okay. And does it matter if the passport is expired?
We advise Kenyans to renew the passport.
We do. Have expired passports. But I hear you. Thank you. At least now, it's, so when somebody asks me, I tell them straight up. You cannot buy out a real picture of your ID or with an expired passport.
Legally, we are still documented in Kenya under that number, but we can't use just a number. We need a form of documentation. Properties are sold inclusive of stamp duty and legal costs. The clients will not be charged anything extra. If you're to go out and get your lawyer out there, the cheapest lawyer would charge you 40,000, and that's for a property that maybe goes for 200,000. So for us, you're saving quite a lot by using us because we have in-house services for everything.
So once now we draft a contract, the client sends us an email address, we send it to them, they sign the contract, they scan it back to us. So once they scan it back to us, we put them on a file. So every client has a file. So once now we have the paperwork that is signed on your file, it's taken to our directors. Hi, Agnes.
Hi.
Hi.
Nice to see you again.
Good to see you too. Karibu sana.
Asante.
So, really we try and make sure that everything is done right. That is why it has to pass through my desk. So you can see like these are files that of people who have finished paying. So I do a few checks. The first one is to confirm that they have paid in full through their receipts and through our system, our financial system. Then when I'm okay with that, I then check whether they've been allocated the right plot, again through our system, and if the transfer documentation is for the right plot, then it's good for us to sign. So I sign and our other director also signs, and then it goes back to the legal desk where they then put together the documentation and send it to the registry.
And now within the time that you usually say 60 days, the client now have their title deed within that 60 days. And as usually promises that once the title is out, the client sends us and confirms, most importantly, their addresses. And now once you get your title, to finish up, it's important you sign on some copies that we usually have inside the original title, to sign receipt that you have actually received the original document, government document, which is the title deed. So once you sign receipt, you just acknowledge that I have received the original title. So once you sign on the copy, you can send us a picture of where you signed, so that you can also have the documents on your file that indeed the title got to you.
Finally, I've seen the flow. Yeah, and your team is very energetic, by the way. And guys, I just want to tell you that I love working with these guys. When it comes to customer service, I've told you over and over, these guys, legit.